Hello, Gerardo. Good afternoon. Competitors for Mileo. For Inter Miami, what that when the season started, in a press conference, you said that this was the objective, this tournament, and you're done. And I understand that this is the first part that ends. Up to here, what's your balance for the year and the NASIA and the local tournament? Let's see. The round was part of the preseason. It was structured that way. And the same, we didn't have our complete roster like we have now. But at that time, Diego Gomez was playing pre-Olympics. It was a bit irregular in terms of the roster that we traveled with, and we ended up playing the games. In our league, we've had good times and good moments and bad moments. We've lost a couple of points at home, but I think we're competing well, and above all, we are getting together, and something that had happened completely different last year and that we suffered in the second half of the season. And here we've competed well. I would say very well with Nashville, and the first game with Monterrey was very good, and today was very good until the end. And then we were eliminated. That's the balance that we've had. Tata, here, I'm here. You had controlled the game because you had possession of the game. Calendar's mistake changed the game because at the halftime, the people who had the ball was Inter Miami, even though Rayados had gotten there three times. We thought there was a game that we had two forwards to play. We had a better chance of having the ball. We had spoken that if we had a goal against, we didn't have to change our posture because we needed two. I believe that who got us out of the game is the second goal 15 minutes into the second half. I think at that time we lost we were eliminated. In the first half, we did very well. We needed a little bit more depth, but we had the ball. We had control of the ball for quite a bit of time. We knew that they were going to go to the space, especially having two inside forwards, but we had a little bit more. We were lacking some depth to be able to damage them, but I believe it was a fair that in the general scheme of things that Monterrey went through. Eduardo Medina from TUDN, it's 5-2 for the general, and the semi-finals is three Mexicans and one MLS team. I think you think that there is a difference in the league still. Mexico, the MX, and MLS in the United States. Is there a difference? And how hot are you about this elimination? Tan Ortiz said that perhaps because of what happened around this, he did not have the opportunity to shake hands with you. Well, our defeat today the, kills a dream that we had to be able to continue going forward in this competition and what we did against Monterrey, what we had done against Monterrey. I keep on saying that in this instance in Conca Champions, normally it doesn't happen like this all the time. The teams with the best roster in the Mexican League, America, Monterrey, and Tigres. I don't say it in Pachuca because it's not because I don't think it's a very good team, but their structure is based on younger players. The stars are generally in the other teams, and they're very strong teams. I mentioned it a little bit a few days ago about MLS until we don't, the MLS doesn't take some of those rules that make it so difficult to replace players that are injured or that are absent. But I believe that it's always been when I worked in Mexico, and now that I don't work in Mexico, a very useless comparison. What we have to do with the federations have to look at their own structures, see how they compete, see how the tournament, see if they're progressing or not progressing, see it, trying to figure out what the national teams do, because it's not an importance. It's not Rayados. Rayados has a lot of in the selection. What does it import? What does it matter if America ends up being the winner of the tournament and they send people to the national team? Because the most important players are generally foreigners. So it doesn't seem it's something very relevant for the improvement of a tournament, be it on the United States or Mexico. I've said I believe that MLS cannot compete in the same level still, and I believe that in the process of change and perhaps changes could happen in the short term. And I don't know what else you asked. Well, it is not important. The coaches are not that important. We are more important when we lose and more important when we win, but those are the circumstances. Final question here in the room. Good evening, coach. The result, the fans, you know that they're the ears and the voice, that we are the ears and voice, and the fans are very hot at the beginning of the game. Can you tell them the Mexican fans while Alvarez didn't go into the world in Argentina? I don't think that you repeat what the people say, but I think it's backwards. And the other question is, I believe so, yes. You're part of the people, you're part of the press. And the other one is too far to be continued. Is that clear? Michelle Kaufman, from an online question.
Hola, Tata.
Hello,
Michelle
Tata.
de Miami. ¿Me oyes?
Michelle from Miami. Can you hear me?
Greetings.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tata, si me puede decir por qué
Tell me,
no,
Tata,
eh,
why
no usaste ningunos suplentes,
there were no,
aunque
no
todavía había
substitutions.
tiempo, sí,
Even
ellos
though there was
anotaron dos
enough
goles,
time, they had two
todavía
goals,
ustedes tenían un
but you
chance
still had the
y no
opportunity,
jugó
the chance,
ninguno
and
de
you
los
didn't change,
suplentes.
and you didn't
Explica
substitute
eso, gracias.
anybody. Can you explain that, please? Thank you. Because everybody who were on the bench were very young. The development of the game, it was not it did not allow us to use one of them to put them in a very adverse situation, and that is why I thought that the best was continued with the same players that started.